Welcome to the show. I'm Danella, and here's what's happening now. Classical musical lovers say, damn! And of course, political pop is on deck. And in our world this week, we're talking about this, searching for life on other planets. But first, let's talk about those classical musical lovers. Because Kendrick Lamar, can you believe this? He won the Pulitzer Prize for music. Now, this is normally given to classical artists as well as jazz musicians. In fact, he made history. This is the first time someone not in those genres has won the prestigious award. So, congratulations to Kendrick Lamar on his album, Damn! He also did a killer job on the Black Panther soundtrack. And actually, let's talk about another first for the Black Panther. So, last week we talked about how the Black Panther actually surpassed the Titanic movie. And now this week, it is the first movie to actually show in a movie theater in Saudi Arabia. Can you believe that? It's true. It was a private screening, but still, it was a first. And popcorn and all movies that go through Saudi Arabia cinemas have to be, censored. And the Black Panther also is censored. They left in all of the fight scenes, but they said that they edited out the kiss toward the end of the movie. But still, that is a first. In fact, Saudi Arabia, this is an era that's seen momentous change for them. Keep in mind, they're welcoming women drivers now. In addition, citizens will be able to go to concerts, fashion shows. So a lot of changes for the area. Let's talk about some more good news, because I think that's good news. Other good news. So 100 universities have unified in a goal of enrolling 50,000 additional low to moderate income students by 2025. All of this is the part of American Talent Initiative. It's a network backed by Bloomberg Philanthropies, the Aspen Institute, and the research firm Ithaca S&R. This is major. They say that research has shown that just 3% of high-achieving low-income students attend America's most selective colleges. So this initiative is to help combat that. So that's pretty awesome. Also, I think this is good news. Did you hear about this? The largest bump stock manufacturer going out of business? Well, it's true. They're called Slide Fire, and they said that they're going to stop not only taking orders, but shutting down its website as of May 20th. They're closing its doors. That's what they say. They don't really say why, but many speculate it's because Trump says that he's going to ban bump stocks. And from Slide Fire closing down, we'll talk about who else is closing its doors. Well, just for a day. Well, really just for a couple of hours in a day, and that's Starbucks. They're closing 8,000 stores following the situation in Philadelphia. I'm sure you saw the video where you see two Black brothers sitting in Starbucks where an employee calls the police on them for trespassing. They're just sitting there waiting on a friend, doing nothing, and they're arrested. It's ridiculous. So Starbucks is saying that they're going to close down their stores. The date that they gave was May 29th, and they're saying that they're closing down their stores for what they're calling racial bias training. They say they're going to do this for several hours. This is ridiculous. Shopping while Black. How do people treat people this way? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, how many people go to coffee shops and just sit, they're on their laptop, do their homework, check the internet, wait for people. And, these two gentlemen just sitting there minding their business, all of a sudden they're taken out by handcuffs. And on the same day, did you hear about the situation in Detroit? Literally the same day. 14-year-old boy misses the school bus. On his way to school, gets lost, decides to knock on a door in a suburban neighborhood to ask for help. The man opens the door, retired firefighter, and pulls out a shotgun on the 14-year-old, chases him down the block with a shotgun and shoots at him. Luckily, he misses. But can you believe this? 14-year-old Brennan Walker just trying to get to school, knocking on the door for help, and is met with gunfire.
And she came down yelling at me like before I could say anything. And she thought I was trying to break into her house. I was trying to explain to her that I wanted to get directions to go to my school. I told her that, no, I go to Rochester High. I'm just looking for directions to Rochester High.
All right, let's put a couple of things back into perspective. First of all, we're talking about Detroit. I mean, let's just talk about the world. What robber do you know knocks on the door to rob a house? Where they do that at? Nowhere. They do that absolutely nowhere does that occur. In addition, it's also in the day, early in the morning. I don't really know robbers that rob early in the morning where kids are on the way to school. I mean, that seems like a high traffic time. You know, parents are getting kids to school. I mean, kids are going to school. Things are happening. Packages might be delivered. I mean, things are bustling. Are you serious? And then police say no one was injured in the incident. And they should have specified no one was physically injured. However, the emotional damage that I'm sure is going to come from this, being a child threatened with a gun shot at. This is crazy. That is going to lead us into political pop. Here is your political pop for Friday, April 20th. This week, the Senate unanimously agreed to allow senators to bring their infants along to votes until the child reaches 1 year of age. Now, this is major in the sense that, are you kidding me? It takes you 2018 to agree on this? Well, here's how it all started. New mother, this is a second-time mother. This is her second child, Senator Tammy Duckworth. She gave birth on April 9th and was really, the pioneer behind this getting passed. Finally, she thanks her colleagues for helping bring the Senate into the 21st century by recognizing that sometimes new parents also have responsibilities at work. She also adds, these policies aren't just a woman's issue, they are a common sense economic issue. She's absolutely right. Welcome to the 21st century Senate, and way to actually be unanimous on something positive. Awesome. And that is your political pop. Interesting, because I'm sure we look at places like Saudi Arabia and think, oh, they're so behind the times. And in America, us too. Behind the times. Let's move over to Puerto Rico. Also happened this week, another power outage. This was an island-wide blackout in Puerto Rico. And this is after an excavator accidentally downed a transmission line. Now, this is nearly 7 months after Hurricane Maria. 1.4 million customers were affected by this outage. And this is the second major outage in less than a week. And guess what? The previous one affected, they're saying 840,000 customers, and was also done by the same contractor. Can you believe it? Same contractor responsible for 2 outages and has since been fired. So, hey, New York. Listen, I have allergies and it's been a while since I've lived in New York, but I have to say it. New York, keep your poop out of my neighborhood, hey? That's what it seems like someone should be saying. But really, this is in Alabama, so maybe it should be like, hey, I can't do it. I cannot do it. It's too early for this. What's my southern accent? My family in the South is going to kill me. I don't know if I could do it. Something like, wait, I can't do it. I got New York on the brain. But let me give you the story. So here's what happened. A train filled with poop from New York City is now stinking up a tiny town in Alabama. The town is called Parrish. Listen, they are so small. They have under 1,000 people live in this town. The train filled with poop broke down in front of a softball field. This is terrible. They say it's been going on for 2 months. Can you imagine the stink?
I can't come out and barbecue like I used to or nothing, because that stuff, be smelling.
One local said that it smells like carcasses, death, dead corpses. Ugh. The mayor said this, the mayor, Heather Hall, she said, the smell is unbearable, especially around dusk after the atmosphere has become heated. I can only imagine how bad this smells for 2 months. And keep in mind, it's hot. It's getting hot in Alabama. Just baking the poop from New York City. Now, it was en route to a landfill. The landfill is 20 miles east of Parrish, and the landfill is called Big Sky Landfill. Big Sky, get your poop, take it to where it needs to go. But this is a real serious problem. The idea is this, is that the South oftentimes is a dumping ground for other states, and we really need to figure out a way to reduce our waste, and take care of this responsibility in a way that's better for our environment. So I hope they find a solution. I cannot imagine. And they're saying that they're talking about canceling games. How could they even keep games open? Do you imagine going to a field and it's hot out and sweaty and you're just smelling train, cargo and freights filled with poop. Get your poop out of here. I'm sorry. I just had to say it. In my mind, that's what it sounds like. I just had to say it. And speaking of caring for the world that you live in, before it's too late, that's going to get us into In Our World, because in Our World this week, here's what we're talking about. NASA launches spacecraft. Its mission to find new worlds around neighboring stars that can support life. Now, I don't know. I just feel like in 2018, it's really not that big of a deal, but it's interesting. I don't know, a while ago, I caught up on Mad Men. I didn't really watch Mad Men when it was out, but you know how Netflix is, you know how binge watching goes, especially when you're battling allergies like myself. You just watch it. So anyway, I was just thinking that, if this was 1950, this would be like, oh my gosh, they're looking for life outside of Earth. This is amazing. Now, I think it's amazing, especially when we hear stories like the situation with us needing to recycle more and take care of our planet more, and how, Stephen Hawking, before he passed, he was talking to people about really investing in money on a mission to find life outside of Earth, because he felt before he passed that it would be inhabitable here because of overcrowding and pollution. So let's talk about what this spacecraft mission is. They're calling it TESS. TESS stands for Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite. TESS for short.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff.
They're saying that it's going to scan almost the entire sky for at least 2 years, starting at the closest, brightest stars. And all of this is in an effort to identify any planets around them that can support life. Specifically, they're saying TESS won't look for life, not really designed for that, but they're saying that it will scout for planets of all sorts, especially those in what they're calling a Goldilocks or habitable zone of a star. Now, this is where temperatures are neither too cold nor too hot, but just right for life-nourishing water. So they're saying that the most promising candidates will later be studied by bigger and more powerful observatories in the future. This is huge. Now, here's what the chief scientist says. His name is George Ricker. He says this: TESS will tell us where to look at and when to look. Interesting. I'm just letting you cats know what's going on. They're looking for planets to sustain other life. I still say, why can't we work together to keep Mother Earth alive longer? Keep this planet alive longer. So before we wrap up the show, I want to share a mommy moment with you. It's been a while, right? It's been a while, but this one I think is worth sharing. It's a dual mommy moment in that it happened to both myself and Kyle. So the mommy moment is this. Started with me. Changing my son. He's 2.5. And he says to me, he says, Mommy, where's your penis? And I said, KJ, Mommy doesn't have a penis. KJ has a penis. Mommy doesn't have a penis. Cue the next day. We go to a restaurant. We're in the restaurant, and now this particular restaurant has, non-gender conforming bathrooms. There's a picture of a male, there's a picture of a woman, then there's a picture of a person, half a male, half a woman. All are welcome. So yeah, we're in the bathroom. So my husband's in the stall, my son's in the stall. I'm in another one. I don't know. These are some good bathrooms because I didn't hear any of this happen, and we're next to each other. The doors go from floor to ceiling. I was impressed. That's what I'm thinking about. Like, oh, this is new. It's clean. Fears that I have as a woman sharing a bathroom with a man is going to be dirty, but it was really clean, and I didn't hear anything. So here's what they were talking about in the other stall. My son says to his dad, "Daddy, where's your penis?" So Kyle says, "My penis is right here. I'm peeing out of my penis." And then my son says, "That's not your penis, Daddy. That's Mommy's penis. Where's your penis?" I would have paid to hear that conversation. And, I think it's a lesson for us all. Thank you, 2.5-year-old son. Because the lesson is this: when you get married, you lose your... And that about wraps up the show. As always, thank you so much for joining the show. I hope you have an incredible weekend. Thank you for bearing with my allergies in case I sound stuffy or raspy. Thank you. I cannot wait for this to pass. Again, have an incredible weekend, and I will see you next week.